Hey guys, Sea Monkey here, and today I'm gonna go over 4 things I wish I knew when I started playing Valheim, so let's get into it. How to build a proper home. The first thing you will likely want to do is build yourself a proper home. To get yourself set up, you'll need a workbench, some wood, stones, a hammer, and probably a plow if you want to level the ground out first. Ideally, you can start by leveling the ground and making it nice and flat to build your humble abode. I like to start by building some walls first and create the right amount of space, followed by a fire pit. The fire pit has to be placed on dirt, but don't worry, we're going to fix this. Next, you can place floorboards and fill the room, and if you get it just right, you can place a floorboard underneath the fire pit to give it a much nicer look until the game is patched to allow us to do the same thing inside of our homes normally. You can make a hearth later on, which is like a larger fire pit, but that's going to be later on in the game, and it's quite bigger than the cozy fire pit. Next, we're going to need a chimney to lead the smoke out of the house and a roof to shelter us. The roof must be thatched to offer shelter, and the floorboards can't be used as roof tiles, at least not yet. Next, build yourself a door and a bed, and maybe a few storage chests to hang onto your stuff. And that's it. You have a proper home. Inside your shelter, you'll notice your status change to sheltered, and if you're within the vicinity of your fire, you'll get the resting status as well, which after a few seconds will give you the rested buff. This buff is really awesome as it greatly increases your stamina recharge rate, and without it, could be deadly if you're surrounded by enemies. The rain outside will give you the wet status and slows down your stamina recharge a ton, and you need your stamina to either fight enemies or run away from them, so having a home you can dry off in and get rested up is a necessity. Alright, number 2, how to spawn a boss. Fighting bosses is sort of what this game is about. It might not be your main focus, but killing bosses can help you get some great buffs that'll make life a lot easier while you play passively in your world. The first thing you need to do is locate the boss. This will generally happen by accident as you explore, but there are totems around the world that, once interacted with, will reveal the location of the boss altar. Alternatively, you may just stumble across the altar on its own without ever reading a totem. The altar of the boss should give you an idea of what you need to spawn them. For instance, the first boss, Ekathir, and I don't know how to say that, so feel free to roast me in the comments, can be spawned by placing 2 deer head trophies on the altar. The altar says to kill his kind and displays a picture of a deer, so it's not laid out for you, but it makes it pretty easy to figure out. So put the trophies you have into the numbered slots in your inventory, then just hit the corresponding number on your keyboard to use those trophies with the altar. That will spawn the boss and the fight will immediately begin. Running away doesn't end the encounter if you need a chance to heal up, but over time the boss will eventually heal itself and finally despawn if you aren't engaging with it. Killing the boss will drop his trophy, which you can then bring to the central starting point with altars for every boss. You can place the boss's head on the corresponding stone and then have access to its buff anytime you want to switch them out. There is a 20-minute cooldown to reuse the buff again, but the buff is still permanent unless you want to switch it out for another boss, which you can do whenever you want. You just go over to the altar stones and select which buff you want to use for your character. You can also repeat these encounters anytime you want if you want to show a friend or just bring them up to speed in the game, and you can also get some cool talking trophies for your home. By the way, if you're new here and you enjoy the content, do me a favor of just subscribing to my channel, and if you like the video, drop me a like and comment down below. As a new creator, I appreciate any and all support from you guys, and subscribing really helps keep me making new videos for everyone. I also stream every Thursday and Saturday night over on Twitch at twitch.tv/cmonkey0321. Now back to the video. Alright, number 3, how to lure, capture, and breed piggies. A good way to build a growing farm and help sustain yourself and your clan is to breed pigs, or hogs. It's not as difficult as you might think, but it's definitely easier if you have a buddy to help you out. First, you're gonna need a base of operations. Your pig farm will pretty much be set in place, so figure out where you want it long term. You'll need a workbench near where you want to house all of your new piggies and some wood on standby to build yourself a fence. You only need a wood pole fence as the piggies don't do much damage and won't break them down. Build most of the pen, and they don't need much space, and then leave a small opening for them to chase you into. Once you have your location picked out, your workbench ready, some wood on standby, and your pen pre-built, you're ready to go recruit some piggies to your farm. Now, this is much easier if you have a harpoon, but if you're a beginner, you probably don't have one, and you really don't need one to do this. Head out into the world and look for some nearby piggies. The closer to your home, the better, as they won't chase you forever, so you'll only be able to maintain their attention for a little bit of time before they get distracted. When you approach a pig, you'll startle it and it'll begin to chase and attack you. Lure him or her back to your home where you've set up most of your pen. They will chase you a pretty long way before giving up, but if it's too far, they may not make it all the way. This is why searching nearest your home is the best. Once you've lured your new pet to its home, build the last piece or pieces of your fence and close it up. You can then jump out of the fence while the pig proceeds to go ballistic inside of it. I like to make small additions to the pen, lure more pigs in, and then open up the walls so it's one large communal pig pen. To domesticate your new animals, you'll need to feed them. They love eating raspberries and blueberries, but will also eat vegetables if you can farm some, which we'll go over later. Toss some food over the gate so your pigs can eat, and over time they'll become tame. Once they're fully tamed, they'll start to make little baby piggies, and your farm will grow. You can lure in pigs with 1 or 2 stars to breed higher level pigs and get more resources from them that way. And once you're able to, you can use the harpoon to basically wrangle a pig and tow it back into your pen from a much further distance away. Okay, on to number 4, how to mine, smith, and farm. What I really want to teach you is how to farm, but to get there, we need to learn how to mine and smith first. So we're going to learn that and then move on to learning how to farm. The first thing you'll need to do is kill the first boss, Ekathir. Again, roast me in the comments. Ekathir will drop hard antlers for you to craft a pickaxe. Next, you're going to go craft your pick and head out into the Black Forest. The Black Forest can be found by looking on your map for the darker wooded area, and also just the spots that say Black Forest when you're near them. So, yeah. You'll need 4 things while you're here. Number 1, Surtling cores. You'll need these to make a kiln and a smelter that together will let you make metal bars. Surtling cores can be found in burial chambers. As you wander the Black Forest, there's a couple things that look like spooky dungeons you can enter, and inside you'll find skeletons and ghosts and several rooms full of treasure, and more importantly, Surtling cores. You can usually find about 5 or more in each burial chamber, but you'll need 10 in total. Hang on to those. Number 2, copper ore. Copper deposits can be found in abundance in the Black Forest, and it looks like big rocks with green moss, but also they just say copper deposit when you look at them. It's a good idea to mark the deposits on your map for later use, that way you can just come back and mine them when you need them. So you have your pickaxe from killing the first boss. Use that to mine the copper from these. Keep your eyes peeled because Grey Dwarfs and Trolls will probably come attack you while you're mining because they are completely rude. Number 3, tin. Tin can be found along the shores of the Black Forest in shiny little rocks. They're easy to mine and you get a few ore per rock. You'll use the tin and the copper ores to make different items individually, but you'll also combine these to make bronze. You need 2 copper and 1 tin to make a single bronze bar, so make sure not to load up on tin because you're going to need a lot more copper. And finally, number 4, carrot seeds. You'll find little white flowers occasionally in the Black Forest that you can pick and get carrot seeds from. We're going to plant these later on, so make sure to hang on to them if you can find them. And bear with me, we're getting there, still learning how to farm, trust me. Once you've loaded up on Black Forest goodies, head back home and drop everything off. First, make yourself a kiln and load it up with wood to start making coal. It'll continuously crank out coal for you with no interaction required. Next, make your smelter. You'll load up the left side with 10 ores of either copper or tin, and you can toss in some of both as you're going to need both to make some bronze bars. Remember, 2 copper, 1 tin. Next, load the right side of the smelter up with coal. And now that you've done that, the smelter will crank out some bars for you. If it's evening, go to sleep. When you wake up, the furnaces will be finished cooking and you can scoop everything up and get it started again. Take the metal bars you've made and craft yourself a forge next. The forge will let you begin crafting items with the metal that you've made. And finally, once the forge is made, you can craft yourself a cultivator, which will let you till the earth and prepare the ground for farming. You're going to want to go grab your carrot seeds, and while you have the carrot seeds and the cultivator in hand, right click and select the carrots. When planting the seeds, you'll need to give them a bit of space from each other, but not too much, just enough so that they grow. If you end up with some seeds that aren't going to grow because they're too close to each other, don't worry, just leave them be and let the others grow. It'll take a few days, but fortunately, farming is basically foolproof. After a few days, you can pick those carrots that grew, and if anything didn't, they should now be able to grow with the new space that they have. Carrots can also be used with mushrooms found in the woods to make a nice stew, but carrots can also be used to feed and breed your piggies that you captured earlier. And that is how you farm. There's other seeds to go out and find and farm, and the devs are currently working on new plants for us, but farming carrots is painfully easy, and this is a great way to get yourself started. And there you have it, folks, 4 things I wish I knew when I started playing Valheim. I would love to hear your thoughts on whether you're a new or experienced player, and if you have any ideas for new videos, please feel free to share those with me down below. As always, I'm SeaMonkey, and I'll see you under the World Tree.